Hello guys, and welcome to another ProfileTree Wix YouTube tutorial. So today we're going to be discussing and going through, is Wix free? So the simple answer to that is yes, it is free, but of course there is a catch to it. So we'll have a look at the pros and cons of using Wix using this slide. So of course there are other platforms that we can look for if dependent on how you want to create your website. So I have had the fact that Squarespace can be used, and that this is great for creatives looking to sell products online. And you also have WooCommerce as well, which is great for people familiar with WordPress. Of course, we also have GoDaddy, another great website builder for fast website creation. We have Shopify, and that's best for all-in-one store building. And we have Weebly, which is great for smaller businesses. So each of these different platforms have their own perks, but of course we are choosing Wix for this one, and of course we're going through on why it is free. So, pros of using Wix. We have flexible designs, and there's quite a few templates to choose from. Which I can't actually see this as a disadvantage in a way, especially if you're looking through and you're finding it hard on what you can pick. Sometimes if you do pick a template and it seems a little bit more complicated, you don't know where to start. So there's a pro and con to this first bullet point that I have created. Next pro, I think, is that it supports at least over 180 languages, and that's perfect, especially for when you're starting off with Wix. On top of that as well, this makes the platform very user-friendly. And as I said there, it's simple for beginners. And then what we're after here is a free plan. So Wix gives the user a free plan. So that's great for individual sellers, of course, or beginners. And Wix provides free and paid apps that you can use for your site. And these are pretty much mainly when you're looking into building your own website, which I'll show you guys in a minute. You're able to build up your own site, and you could use some of the stuff that they have in the Wix marketplace. And I think that it's a pretty great platform, especially if you're starting off and you're just having, you want to have some design options. You could go ahead and use some of what's available that Wix is given. So it also provides security, so password protected pages for private clients. Another top one, I think, is the free domain that you get. Of course, it adds on top of expenses if you are paying for Wix. Now, this is the catch for this, which I'll show you in the next slide. But for the meantime, there's a free domain that you can get. So you'll have that free domain for the entire year. So just dependent on what your website's called, you'll have that for the year. And if you want to continue it, you would have to pay for a membership. So, or pay for the actual domain. So it's SEO friendly as well. So meaning that you can create blogs to increase SEO and will also improve users' experience. And it's fairly easy as well for beginners to use, which I find great, and just gives them a better understanding as well on how SEO works. Now, there are pros, but of course there are cons to using Wix. So the reasons to not use Wix: you can't switch templates after building your website, and I'll demonstrate this later on. We have Editor, ADI, and Editor X, and I'll explain these three different options going along. So you can't access all unrestricted websites after you pay for premium features. So premium features and premium can't be transferred, so it remains on one site for good. So that's mainly the things that you paid for within that actual area. So it could be with the Wix marketplace as well. So it's as well as that, as you could see here, pay for premium. So it is free for you to build your website and to publish it, but in order to actually have domains and for other visitors to actually purchase items, if you're running an e-commerce site or anything else, you would have to pay for a premium plan. And these premium plans would occur for 1 2 or 3 years, depending on how you want to do it. And another reason as well there is that too many platform options for beginners. And as I stated earlier on, we've got Editor, ADI, and Editor X, so it can be a little bit confusing. So the paid plan for tracking, meaning that website users who would want to know how the site's performing, but this requires a paid plan to track your site. So that's another downfall as well. So you do have to pay. So you got Editor X as well, which is more for professional web developers, but I was saying here that some features aren't as readily available as Editor. Parts required to be coded in using Velo. This can be a downfall. The premium plan for this is also more expensive than Editor. So those are the cons to this and the pros. So now that we've seen that, I'm going to go ahead and show you guys how to actually create a website. But before we get stuck into building one, I'm going to go ahead and show you the basics. So how would you create a Wix site? So there's a couple of steps that you are required to do in order to do it. So here's the basics. We've got a header, we've got a section, and we've also got a footer. Now, these three key points are ideal because you of course you would need a header, and then from your header you would have a logo, got menu, a login, and social media. And then next you would have a section, which would I've stated there that you would want a heading, tagline, and a background. And then you would have paragraph as well with, the blue box there is pretty much your own creative ideas on what you want to do. So for that, I could probably want to have a paragraph with an image or a paragraph with video. So it's just dependent on how you want to build your site with it. Next one there, I have promotional, gallery, about, and contact form. So again, that's up to yourselves whether you want to add that in or include that within a e-commerce site or non-e-commerce site. So non-e-commerce site, of course, you would want a gallery, about, or contact form. Lastly, we have the footer, which is fairly similar to the header itself. All that's stated there is that there's links, menu, social media, and a disclaimer. So enough of the slides. We'll go ahead and we'll get started on the site build. So see you in a minute. Okay, so once you go through the sign up process of joining Wix, you will get a couple of more pages which will be stating what your site's all about. So if I actually just demonstrate for you guys, I'll go ahead and go back here. So these would be the very first steps that you'd be going through, and it'll be asking you whether you want to use Wix or Editor X. And of course, the platform that we want to choose for the meantime as a beginner would be Wix. So if you go ahead and click on that, and then the next option you will get is what sort of website are we trying to create. We'll just for the meantime say that we're trying to create a blog website. So we'll go ahead and click next. And then it'll ask you what you would like to call your website. So of course you could change it to whatever you want. So just the title of the video, we'll just call Is Wix Free. Of course, we'll change up the logo and stuff. And this is where you can add some apps in if you want to. Of course, the blogs are already built in. And then the chat, I can choose to remove that. And of course, there's other ones that you could choose from here, which is online store. You've got bookings, events, portfolio, pricing plans, Instagram feed, all the way to bands in town. I'm going to go ahead and choose to skip this. So now you'll be greeted with this section here, and it'll be asking you whether you want to create a website on Wix Editor, Editor X, or Wix ADI. So I'm going to quickly show you guys the Wix ADI platform. So the abbreviation for Wix ADI is Artificial Design Intelligence, and this is mainly based off questions. So it'll be asking you just go through a couple of questions with you just to review. So of course the name there is Wix Free. Of course you could have a clothing brand. So so you could have something like the clothing brand NI, And then you would have the email address for that business, an address for that business, a phone number for that business, and of course you would have social media accounts. And you can also create a logo. So we'll go ahead and skip this. You can review and edit the parts later on. Now you'll be given 6 different theme options. For mine, I've got Vogue, Timeless, Chic, Minimal, Clay, and Classic. Now this won't be the same as yours. You could probably have a different one. But for the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and click on Minimal. I'll go ahead and click Next. So we'll wait for this to load. So you'll get 3 different layouts, as you could see. So the clothing brand NI, we've got You've Arrived, the clothing brand NI, and this is the very first one for the layout. This is our second layout, as you can see, and we also have our third layout. So there's 3 different layouts that you could choose there. Of course, you can choose to skip it if you want to, but as you can see, it is fairly basic, so that's sort of not what I want to go for. So if we go back to where we were, so we'll just go back here. Okay, so now we're back here. I'm going to go ahead and show you guys the Editor X. So this is just another platform build that you can use or consider using for your free Wix website build. So it is a little bit more complex, especially for beginners, but if you are if you are a little bit more advanced and you have gotten the hang of Wix, well, you can go ahead and use this platform, I believe. As you can see, there's a lot of different options there, and they are fairly modern, as you can see. If I go ahead and click on one, this one here, the gaming setup one, I'll go ahead and click on View. So it's called Gigaplay, as you can see, and it's got its usual animation. It's got a almost like a hoverable hamburger menu area, and by the looks of it as well, it looks like it's a scrollable site at the start for this. So it scrolls down, as you can see, and then it opens up this. So that's pretty cool on that one. And then you're able to view the different games, and you have things popping up here as well. So this is fairly advanced for what it is, as you guys could see. And it is a great platform. So look, as you can see, the logo as well. That's pretty cool. So I would only use this if you are advanced into creating these sites. And as you can see on how it would look on a platform for this and a mobile platform as well. So there you go. Okay, so now that we've viewed that, we're going to go back and we shall now look at the Wix editor. Okay, so we'll go and we'll move on to the Wix editor. So we'll go ahead and we'll start now. So there's a few different templates that you could choose from, as you could see from the editor or the Wix editor, and a few options there as you could see. We're going to try to create a travel blog website. So there's one there. If we view it, we could try to possibly create something of similar. So as you can see, they've got a video background of traveling. That's really cool. Okay, so they've got an Instagram post page as well, a load more area. So we're gonna go ahead and we'll try to recreate something like this. So to start off, what I want to do is I want to go to the blank templates, and I'm going to go ahead and edit the start from scratch, and we'll use this as a reference on how we want to build our website. So we'll make it close to this, as close as possible. So we'll wait for this to load. Okay, so first what we want to do is we want to go ahead and build some of the site here. So we'll start off with the header and the actual hero section itself. So what I like to always do is name my hero sections. And we want to try to get the right dimensions here. So that looks like it's around 800 for the height. So we'll just use the toolbar and round that up so that it is 800. And I'm going to go ahead and add a video background element. And I'm just going to use a normal strip and plant that so it's at around 800. And I'm going to change that strip background so that it is a video. Okay, so once that's loaded up, I'll see if I could get a video of something to do with nature, or maybe camping. Okay, so something along the lines of this I'm happy enough to grab. So we'll go ahead and use this. So we'll just preview this just to make sure everything is playing right. Okay, I'm happy enough. And then what I want to do is I want to add a solid background to this. So I'm going to add a element again of just a black section. Now I want to reduce that so that it is around 200 px or 200 height, sorry. Maybe we can even reduce it to 150. And then I'm going to change this color so that it is color green. So I'll just look for a green color here. Let's have a look. Of course, you can use the color wheel to find the right color for you. So something along the lines of a darker green. Okay. We'll actually reduce that so that it is 120 instead. Now, what they've done as well is that they've got on the trail my travel blog. So what I want to do is I want to split this strip into two different parts, and I also want to manage this so that it's layout. So if we could click on this and click on the layout, we want to do a 25-75 proportion, and that means that I'm able to add my logo here. So let's just add a decorative piece. That will do for the meantime. Okay, so we'll just reduce that size. And I'll change the basic shape to something along the lines of nature. So I'm happy enough with this logo, and we'll go ahead and click on that. And of course I'll change this so that you could notice it more as well. Okay. And by the looks of things, okay, you know what? I could probably go for a yellowish color. And then so I am aware that we did change the website sort of build into nature. So what we're going to do is we'll just name it Nature Trails NI. Okay, and then like so, and then I'll just double tap this, double click on this, change the color so that it's yellow. Okay. So I'm happy enough with that. So what they did next as well was they have a blog about me, work with me, and a contact. So I'm going to go ahead and do those three options there. Okay, so I got all my pages added in. So it's fairly easy enough to do. You just click on add page and then you're able to join them up together. So you can work away with that. And then if you want to drag them about, you can do so as well, or you can create sub pages like so. And that's just with dragging it to the right and dragging it to the left. So now that we've got that sorted, what I want to do is focus on the actual menu now. So, okay, it looks like our section there disappeared. No worries, we'll just add this section back in. Okay, so I'll be with you guys in a minute once I get the header and the hero section back on. Okay, so I just want to quickly show you how to actually add the menus item, and it's fairly easy enough to do. So what we want to do is we want to position this so that it is around to the right side instead of the left side. So let's just make sure that this is to the right more. For the layout, we'll have that to the right. I'll just move this a little bit there, and I'll adjust this so it's a little bit smaller. So something like that. And then to modify the actual menu item, you just go to customize design and you want to make sure that you change it to menu items instead. And this is where we change it. So K to D, and when on hover, we want to change that color to that. And within current page as well, we want to change it to that. So regular is color white. Yes, it is. And okay, so I'm happy enough with that. So that's how to add the menu item. It's very straightforward and easy enough. So that's mainly our two main parts done, which is our header here, as you can see. And we've also got our hero section. So what I want to actually do is just reduce that down a little bit more and change the design again. So menu item, and I want to change the, not the background fill, but the actual text color into color white. Okay. Okay, so now that we've got that done, I'm going to go ahead and create the section for this. So like you got a featured post there, but instead of doing that, what I want to do is I'm going to go ahead and create, so I'm going to use a decorative piece here. I'm going to use one of these boxes. So that's the vector art, and just have that brought up a little bit more and drag this down a little bit. So this part, I'm going to go ahead and add another section actually. So I'll just make that a blank section. So for this part, what I'm going to do is I'll color that one in green, like so. Oh, there you go. And then I'll just have some text. Welcome to, what's this website? So Nature Trails, welcome to Nature Trails, Trails NI, check. All right. Okay, so something like that. And then we'll K2 D2, and then we'll increase that font so that it's nice and big. So like so. And then what I want to do is I'm going to make sure I center these pieces here to Nature Trails. And then I want to make this a little bit bigger, so I'll have that at 60. So something like that. So there's a welcoming post there, and then now I'm going to go ahead and create the rest of the website here. And so you can add your blogs. So I'll get to the blog section soon. Well, what I want to do is I want to make sure that I get the rest of this site going. So if you bear with me, I'll be right back. Okay, so sorry. What I'm actually going to do for this part here is I'm actually going to go ahead and add a section. So we're going to just increase that so that it's 700, and we're going to go ahead and add a blog. So we'll do a blog for this. See, we'll start a blog and we'll add that to the site. And of course, you can custom make these blogs if you want to, and it's fairly easy enough to do. So it'll open up a new page, of course, on blogs. And this is when you will have a search button as well. So you can choose to keep the search button. That's preferably up to you. So you can have that there, and then I can go ahead and customize this as well. So something like that, and then maybe if I customize it so that it is color green, like so, and then if I had the text on this one so that it is K to D2 again, and then for the manage search results, okay, let's have a look here. I'm going to go ahead and customize this a little bit more. So through the settings, I'm going to go ahead and remove the little dots. And I also want to add a border to this as well. So we'll go ahead and do so on all sides at 1px and at the opacity of white. Okay, that looks a lot better. And then now, as you noticed, we've got two blog posts because we've got an actual one now. What we want to do is we want to go ahead and delete this one. And I'm going to go ahead and move this one up. So that you're free to pretty much work with whatever blog that you decide to put on this. So as you can see, that these are the current blogs that are added in. I can manage these posts if I want to as well. And these are very customizable to do. So if we go ahead and just check one out here, just wait for this to load. Okay. So you can create new posts, as you can see here on the top. And then if we scroll down as well, it'll say that we have posts. If we click on this one, these are our demonstration sort of posts. Hopefully it should come up. No? Okay. So if you want to create a post, you can do so anyway. So places to visit in Northern Ireland. And then you can add like a image or a photo if you wanted to. So let's just say I'm going to add a photo. I can do so. So media from Wix. Just say picture of Ireland. Okay, so the family hiking one, that looks okay. And then of course you would then start writing your blog post. And once you're happy enough and satisfied, you would go ahead and click on publish. And then that should be finished. And then when you go to the editor, you'll be able to see the blog post. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and copy this. So I'm going to just duplicate a couple of these posts. So I'll just duplicate, so I'll just say this one is best places in Northern Ireland. Okay, and then publish that one as well. And then duplicate the post again. And then top 10 choices in Belfast. So something like this. And of course you would write the actual post itself. So this is just me giving you guys an example. So when I click X off that, my blog post should now appear, as you can see. And then I can also change them and give them put the settings up. So I can do a full width post. And if I click on settings, I could choose the categories that it lists up to. So just say you have 4 different categories, and it would be one for Belfast, one for Derry or Londonderry, one for Lisburn, something like that. So you can place them in categories as well. Okay, so what we want to do is, since we've got our blog posts now added up, we're going to go ahead and we're going to add that into our main page. So here we are at our home. See, I must have clicked on another page. Okay, so I did click on another page. So what I'm going to do is, if you make a slight mistake like I have here, it's fairly easy to just change about. So for this one, I'm going to have and change this to about me. And then the home will now be renamed to home, as I did it here on accident. So I'm just going to move this up, and I'm going to make sure yes, so I'm going to make sure that this is not the home page anymore. I'm going to set this as the home page now, like so, and then scroll that up there, and I'm going to remove that so that you can't see that. Now what I'm going to do here, so I'm going to go ahead and add a blog post to this part here like I was meant to. So we'll have that here, and they'll just come up as normal, as you can see, so you can just have them listed. So I'll just give them a full width, and if I preview the site, just have a look at them. So you can have multiple blog posts, as you can see, so that it could be like 5 in a section. So that's just dependent on how you want to do it. So once you're happy with that, so I will go ahead and complete the rest of the site, just as I don't want to keep this video too long, and then we'll look into the SEO and pricing plans. Okay, so once you have the rest of the site completed, so I'm happy enough with this site. So what we want to do now is we would want to go and sort of look through the pricing plans and how we're going to go ahead and upload or get the domains for the site. Okay, so I'll just save that site first, save that under there, and then I want to go to site, and I will click, okay, that's fine. So I'll click on the My Dashboard. And of course, we've written our first blog post, connected domain, which we need to do. So that's the very first step in order to do that. So of course, the name of the site is called Nature Trails NI. So Nature Trails NI, and we'll see what is available for the okay, so as you can see there, we've got one available. So when it is available, you just click get it, and you can buy it now for the actual domain. So you can purchase this, as you can see, for 1 year or 2 years or 3 years. But let me see if you can view this. I'll just open this up in the new tab. So the 1 year, 2 and 3 years. So that's the only catch to actually having the domain. But you can have it for 1 year as a free voucher. So once you click on this, upgrade now. So as you can see, we have got the site running. You would have to have a premium plan. So this is if you want to be able to fully publish it and get it live, you would need to do this way. So luckily it's only £4 just to have a connected domain. So that's the pricing point that you would have to pay. But of course, if it is a free domain, then that's all you would be paying for the next 12 months. And if you do select on one, so just say I selected on to connect domain, I have a couple of different options there: 3 years, 2 years, yearly, and a monthly. And then, of course, when you've decided on one, you would go ahead and continue to checkout. So hopefully that covers that part of the area. And then the next one would be something to do with SEO. And SEO is, as it says, search engine optimization. And you would want to try to do this if you want to try to just complete the checklist. If you just go through it, so what's your business or brand name? Nature Trails, NI, and then you would serve for within the local area. And from where ProfileTree is based, we're at Belfast, or sorry, Nature Trails, and then you would just have Nature Trails, Nature Trails, That's just for the purpose of this video. So we'll click next, and then it'll ask you or give you a guideline on some of the SEOs that you've done. So as you can see here, set the homepage title for search results, and if I go for it, it's only at home. So we would want that to be Nature Trails NI, Nature Trail NI, Belfast. You'd want to set a description, so we'll have at least 50 to 300 characters for that description. And then, of course, the last one here, which is the create your own domain name, and this is where you would have to connect. So if you click on connect domain, this is how you would gain your SEO as well. Of course, the same is reoccurring for the rest of the site here. You would need to do it for the rest of the other pages, like about me and blog and work with me, as you can see. So as long as you fill this up and tick through the boxes, you'll be able to have a full checklist for the SEO setup. So hopefully this gives you a quick guide on the if Wix is for free. It is to an extent, and there is a catch to it. So it is free for when you publish it, and then you can produce the site, especially if you have a domain. You can have it up, but you would need to have a premium plan if you want to fully go live. So hopefully this video helped, and hopefully it gets you started as well for building your own website. If you guys have any questions at all, just leave them down in the comment section below. And yes, I'll see you for the next one. Thank you very much.